Brexit is dead.
For this episode of Brexit is Dead, we're taking a look at this interview between Victoria Derbyshire and Nigel Farage.
A poll from last month showed that this is a general Brexit question. 53% of people say it was wrong to Brexit. That was a poll last month. Around 1 in 5 Leave voters regret it. The OBR forecasts a 4% hit to the economy over the medium to long term.
Don't make me laugh on
Hang
that.
on, that's 40 billion in tax revenues.
Comical.
The UK economy is the only G7 economy not back to its pre-pandemic size. Business investment has lagged behind comparable economies. Economically, the UK would have been better staying in, wouldn't it?
How will he answer? Before he does, let's remind ourselves of some of the horrors that Brexit has delivered. To begin with, a lot of older people that voted for Brexit are dead. Others are regretting putting an X in the box to leave. Boris Johnson, who was the figurehead of the Leave campaign, is officially denounced as a liar.
Well, who believes Boris Johnson was telling the truth yesterday?
Wow.
Farmers are feeling the effect.
Why is the price of food going up so rapidly?
Basically because production is falling off a cliff at the moment. Post-Brexit, we created this labour vacuum.
The response to the COVID pandemic was compromised because of Brexit preparations, meaning unnecessary deaths.
Of Brexit and the threats that a disorganised Brexit could do, we took the resources were moved across the department to focus on that threat, including away from pandemic preparedness planning.
Few or no checks at the port of Dover, so lorries are bringing in rotting and possibly contaminated food.
The answer is to get back in the single market and free us up, because there are no advantages to Brexit whatsoever, particularly for food production and food security and public health.
Then we have Mogg's empty promises of cheaper food and clothes.
Basis, we would set our own tariffs. We could have cheaper food, clothing and footwear straight away by getting rid of the protectionist anti-trade tariffs that the EU imposes.
That are proved wrong.
Saying that a third of food price inflation is being driven by Brexit.
So let's get back to Farage and see how he answers Victoria Derbyshire's question.
Economically, the UK would have been better staying in, wouldn't it?
I don't think that for a moment. But what I do think...
Based on all that?
But what I do think is we haven't actually benefited from Brexit economically when we could have done. I mean, what Brexit's proved, I'm afraid, is that our politicians are about as useless as the commissioners in Brussels were.
So was that not a factor you considered, Farage? Surely anybody who's in politics knows that nothing happens in its purest form. Everything gets diluted. Anyway, carry on.
We've mismanaged this totally. And if you look at simple things such as takeovers, such as corporation tax, we are driving business away from our country. Arguably, now we're back in control, we're regulating our own businesses even more than they were as EU members. Brexit has failed. 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 Brexit has failed.
Click here for some more Brexit is Dead.